Nate Allen, who's going to start it?
Yeah, Dave, do you know absolutely anything about the New Jersey Institute of Technology as far as their program or anything?
No, not yet, to be honest with you. Just, we'll find out as much as we can, but we don't really know much about them. I just know that their tournament ended interesting. I think they had a deadline to get a champion. I think they might have had weather, and I think they were ahead in the tournament somehow, some way, and they were determined the champion without maybe finishing all the ball games.
Also, with anything new on Vermillion or Slavens?
So on Vermillion, I thought we were going to get him looked at today, but we'll know tomorrow night. He's getting looked at everything tomorrow. Slavens is walking around without the boot today, and I would say, just looking at him, I would say he's very, very questionable for this weekend.
Could he pinch hit or something like that?
I don't know yet. I don't know if he could put solid weight on it or even get down the line to get to first base. So I would say, if he can't get to first base, obviously I don't think we can put him up there.
Thank you.
Jacob?
Dave, after the last year, just how exciting was it to get to the selection show, see your name called, just all that stuff that we just really missed last spring?
It's it started with just starting the season, getting to play. It was amazing being in Arlington in that ballpark with a uniform on, playing outside competition. It was a little more exciting than normal. And then I would say, at this time of year, a little bit of that's worn off because we played so many games. We've traveled everywhere, it seems like, in the league, and all we've been through. But it's still really special just to sit there and see your name called. And we've had such a good season up to this point. The guys seemed really excited, happy to be in there. It wasn't like, oh, here we go again.
So what does the week look like for you guys now, just leading up to Friday afternoon?
Well, with travel back yesterday and getting in about 9, just a stressful week. Today we're going to give them off again. Just want them to relax, try to get caught up on some rest, get organized, and then we'll start working out tomorrow sometime. I haven't made a decision on a time yet. We have rain moving in, so probably tarp the field tonight, and we get a chance to get out there tomorrow. We'll peel that thing off and go. If we can't, we'll be inside. But we'll definitely work out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then play on Friday.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave.
Matt?
Hey, Dave, I think I've heard through the years that Will Bolt was called Little DBH when he was playing at Nebraska, just similar mannerisms, kind of a coach on the field. Is that accurate? And then number two, what are your thoughts about seeing him in your regional field?
Yeah, I think I've heard rumors of that. He's a hard-nosed player, and he played second base for me a couple of years. He played shortstop. He was part of the two teams that went to Omaha. He's part of the team that won the regular season Big 12 championship, which was amazing. He was a part of a team that won 3 Big 12 tournament championships in a row. He's a winner, and I'm really proud of Will. He's worked hard, and he knew what he wanted to do as a young person, and been an assistant coach, and he got his shot at Nebraska, and he's taken full advantage of it. He's got coaches that he trusts and he hired, and they're doing a great job recruiting and getting those kids motivated. And they got after it up there this year. And they won the league outright. They actually won it by 3 or 4 games from what I remember. So, and there's some really good teams up there. So, proud of him, happy for him, and we'll get to see those guys this week.
And then yesterday after the game, Tony Vitello said he thought Kevin Kopps ought to win the Golden Spikes Award this year. Rare, obviously, for a reliever to win that award. What are your thoughts about his candidacy for that? I guess their semifinalists are coming out here pretty soon.
Well, that's based off a few things. statistics, and Kevin's statistics are incredible. You look at the saves, the amounts of wins. How many games did he help us win? I mean, 18, 20 games. You take Kevin Kopps off of the number one ranked team in the country throughout most of the season, and we're not here. So how important was he to our team? Hugely important. So if you take those factors into consideration, I think Kevin has as good a chance as anybody.
Seth Campbell.
Yeah, Dave, you've rotated some guys really all throughout the season in left field and third base specifically. One, have you ever done that throughout the season before? And then two, what does it say about those guys that you can just plug them in and they continue to play?
Yeah, I've done that before in the past with different teams, but I don't know if the team was a conference champion, doing that. It's just the way it worked out with this team. Right-handed hitter, left-handed hitter at third. It wasn't always about that. It was, defense and, an experienced guy there to Colin Smith, who was learning the position a little bit with us. But it worked out. And, in the outfield, nobody would really go ahead and take that position. A lot of times, left field is going to be a guy that can really hit. And both of my left fielders were, they were just doing okay, and they had a good game here or there. So it was a little different, but it's not like it was a problem amongst the team. I had to talk to the players about it, the ones that were involved in the platooning a little bit. But other than that, I think that the team got it. They understand what we were doing.
Thanks, Dave.
Hodge.
Dave, you kind of touched on it a little bit with Will Bolton, but Will Bolt. What was your reaction when you saw Nebraska pop up as one of the teams in your regional, knowing that he's there, but also you had so much success there yourself?
Well, it didn't surprise me that we were getting Nebraska. I mean, it did a few people because they did win the outright conference championship, and a lot of times they're not going to send the champion to such a high seed as a number two. I don't know what went into all those decisions, but I don't know. I mean, I just see Nebraska as another quality team that, we're probably going to have to play. And, it's going to be good to see Will and some of the guys, but, probably just, I didn't get all emotional on one side or disbelief on the other. It was, nothing surprises me now.
And then also, do you know what your starting pitching plan is this week yet, or who you're going to start on Friday?
No, not yet at all. And that probably won't come out till Thursday.
Bob.
Hey Dave, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I was working on some on Opitz. I think you might have said someone on TV, but my cat jumped on the cable box and knocked it out for a minute, so I missed it. But I was just wondering what you thought about the season Casey's put together for you.
I think he's had an incredible season. When you talk about number of innings caught, all the pitchers, the different type of pitchers he's caught. I mean, his receiving has been incredible. The blocking has been incredible. I honestly feel like his throwing has gotten better the second half. Like his accuracy, arm strength is back to where it always was, and maybe even better. I made the comment that I feel like nationally there's not a better receiver in college baseball, and I truly mean that. And without Casey, we wouldn't be where we are.
I know New Jersey Tech obviously hadn't played the schedule you guys have, but I noticed they've stolen a lot of bases. They're like 61 out of 68 or something like that. But I would think Casey could control a running game pretty well. Kind of, what do you think about that base stealing stat and, what Casey can do to stop, the running game?
I mean, their percentage is incredible. And, controlling the running game starts with the pitcher. The catcher can only do what he can do. The pitcher's got to give you a chance. So it'll be something we'll definitely address. And it's a big part of their offense, it looks like. So, again, we're still just looking into the teams that are coming in, and we'll try to get the best scouting reports we can so we will know how to attack them.
Let's go more on Casey. I mean, he obviously would have been drafted, if there'd been a normal draft. And a lot of guys maybe that they'd struggle with that. But he seemed, going back to the fall, very enthusiastic about coming back, said, hey, playing for Arkansas, it's not a bad thing. What do you thought about how he handled that and just besides his catching, what he's meant to the team from a leadership standpoint, just enthusiasm standpoint, all that stuff he brings to the table for you?
Well, I thought he had a really mature approach. Once he got back to campus, he wasn't pouting around, thinking I shouldn't be here. I should be in the minor leagues or in the off season right now or whatever. He just came here and he was Casey Opitz, same Casey Opitz we always knew, smile on his face, really, really good leader. And, I couldn't have asked for any more from him, honestly. I mean, it's been a pleasure to have him in our program. I'm just glad we got to be around him another year. When the season finally does come to an end, it's going to be tough watching number 12 walk out the door, to be honest with you. He's been amazing. I've had some great catchers, and he's as good or better than any one that I've ever had.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Scotty.
Hey, Dave, I just wanted to ask you about Jalen Battles in the year that he's had, just kind of as a whole, and where does he have kind of the greatest impact for you guys, maybe on the field and in the clubhouse?
Well, he's been amazing all year. If you look at his defensive numbers, they're as good as any shortstop in the country. That is a, premier position. It's very hard to play it. You have a lot of things to take care of there. If you bobble a ball, it's hard to throw somebody out. It's the best fielders and throwers usually go to that position. That's all the way up to the big leagues, all the way down to Pee Wee League, to be honest with you. The defense has been off the charts. That's what stands out to me. I mean, he's played almost every game this season at short. I think I gave him a day off or two, and that's about it on a couple of midweek games. But and I've seen him really make improvement strides with the bat. I think Coach Thompson, and I don't know, Bobby Wernes and all of them, they've all done a great job of working with him, and he listens. He's very coachable. And, in the clubhouse, he's fun. Guys gravitate to him. And, I think the key is, on this team is you just, in the clubhouse, you have to know as being a team player. And I don't feel like we have any selfish guys hanging out in that clubhouse. And if they started out that way, they changed. And that's what you want.
Troy.
Obviously, you've had the most incredible season and you have taught the players so much. And we've heard a lot of coaches say that sometimes the players teach the coaches more than the coaches teach the players. But I'm curious what your team has taught you this year.
I say it all the time and just keep repeating myself. As far as what they've taught me, they taught me that it is possible for a team to show up every weekend and every game and give you everything they've got, because that's what we saw. Even games we lost, these guys, they busted it. And they were usually tight games. The Alabama game got away from us, first game of the SEC, run there at the beginning of the league play. But, they still fought to the end. They won the next two games. So mentally, they were still there. I don't know. It's just been a fun team to be around. So it can be done. Guys can show up every day and play at the college level. Professional baseball, they play a bunch of games. Big league play 162, 163 games. And, you can see those guys dragging around a little bit. I don't see that from our players here. And we talk to them about that a lot. We appreciate it. They keep coming up big.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Yep.
Tom.
I had a question for you if you haven't been asked about the combos you've used since Slavin went out. Goodhart's played left, Bates has played right, and I don't know how you think it's all worked out and what that could mean for you in the postseason.
Yeah, I think some guys have really stepped it up. You talk about really right in the middle of the game, we had to, make a defensive replacement, move my third baseman to first, and then bring Jacob Nesbitt in. And then, I think the next game against Vandy, we throw Ethan Bates in the lineup in right field, and all he does is knock in the first run, and then, driving another run with a sac fly to give us a 2-run lead. And, he did a nice job out there. So, moving guys around a little bit. Wallace had to go to third. It worked out pretty good. They all were solid. They all contributed, and it gives us a little bit more confidence going into the regional, because I don't think we're probably going to have Brady. I mean, it's going to be difficult for him to get ready between now and, let's just say, Saturday, to even come in and pinch hit. So I think really what we're looking at with Brady is maybe this weekend, but if we can get through the weekend, maybe we can have him down the road.
Will you go matchups with your pitchers in this regional?
We will out of the pen a little bit, but as far as who we're going to start, we need to see what's going on with the other team. Are they right-handed, hit left-handed? What kind of reports are we getting before we make a decision who we're going to throw?
Thanks.
Come back around, Nate.
Yeah, Dave, even losing Paulette, do you feel you came out of the SEC tournament maybe with your most flexible pitching staff you've had all year?
In a way, just because of the success the guys had, getting guys out there. I mean, getting Connor Nolan out there for 9 outs was a really good hitting team, and the way he pitched. I thought Bolden gave us a good start. Obviously, Lockhart gave us a great start and then a really good inning yesterday. And Wiggins threw the ball extremely well. I mean, it could go on and on. The one guy we got to get going a little bit is Caden Monk. I mean, he threw great against Florida, and he didn't have a good weekend. We got to have him. So we'll try to get him straightened up this week. But you'll see him out there. But yeah, I would say so. I think they should be confident. They gave confidence to the other guys on the team and to the coaching staff to put them out there.
And finally, more specifically about Caden Wallace, just about his adjustment going to third and right and all the shuttling he's had to do.
Yeah, I mean, he loves to play infield. That's what he came here as a third baseman. And man, he takes some ground balls every now and then. But when I told him he was going to third, he was excited about it. And then obviously the next couple of days in practice or pregame, he's working out full time there. And then we put him back out to right after we maybe bring in Nesbitt as a defensive replacement because he's a veteran there and he's done so well there over the last 3 years. So, but I think he's handled it really well. He's made a couple of nice plays yesterday, and I don't think it phases him.
Thank you.
Hutch?
Yeah, Dave, speaking of Paulette, I know you said he's probably done for the rest of the year. Has there been any determination if he needs surgery or anything like that yet?
I think that's coming up real shortly, that's going to be, determined. And usually when you're going to miss the rest of the year, there's probably something going on in there. And I feel like that's what the case is, where they're just trying to get some things lined out right now before we can announce it or tell you what's up.
And then also, was this year's selection show any different, knowing, I mean, pretty much going in that you were going to be the number 1 overall seed, or is it almost, are the top 8 seeds almost all the same, because it means, hosting through the supers?
Well, obviously getting in the top 8 is big because you know that if you win the regional, you're going to get to play at home again. It's always nice playing at home in front of your fans. But yeah, it was different because we knew we were going to be the number 1 seed and there wasn't any drama there, so to speak. Yeah, just more of a relaxed feeling. And now it's about moving on from the tournament championship and putting that behind us and getting our mind right and getting physically ready to play this weekend.
Bob, anything else?
Yeah, Dave, I think 9 SEC teams made it with the 7 top seeds, and then LSU and Alabama. I guess Georgia just was one of the last teams not to make it. And what you think about 9 SEC teams? I don't think we've gotten to ask you about Paul Maneri's retirement announcement. Just wonder what you thought about the SEC getting all those teams in, and what you think about Paul Maneri retiring.
Yeah, just on the teams. I mean, it's great for our league to get 9 in, and we thought with with this year, with some of these leagues not playing out of league, and maybe the RPI with their league would be a little skewed, that it might cost us a bid or two. We didn't know. But I'm glad to see 9 get in. I was hoping for 10. Feel bad for Georgia. It's interesting how they figured out how they were going to take one or the other. And LSU deserved to be in. They sent them way out to Oregon, but I'm sure they don't care. And, Coach Maneri retiring, I've become pretty good friends with Paul over the years and really enjoyed competing against him. And he's gotten the best of us. There's been some games we've let slip and vice versa, but he's a class act, and I like the way he runs his team. And when you play Paul and LSU, you were just playing baseball. There wasn't a lot of the other little things going on, and I appreciate that a lot. And I know that hasn't been feeling real well. He's had some neck problems, had some surgeries, and some headaches, and he'd tell me about things. And he had been contemplating this, thinking about it, and trying to make a decision. And he talked to me about it when we were in Baton Rouge before our first ball game. And I could tell that it was weighing on him a little bit. They were struggling a little bit. And coaching at LSU, man, it's a pressure cooker down there. Obviously, I think it is at a lot of places, but probably down there a little more. And I heard him say it, and it's true. When you win, you win. When you lose, it kills you. I mean, it's not like you expect to win. If you don't win, it tears you up. And he made comments about he wanted to smile more and act different. And, we all kind of get it a little bit because we're there sometimes. And, I told him, my advice to him was do what you want to do. I mean, you're only on this earth so long. You need to enjoy it and be happy. And if you're not happy, you got to figure that out, what you want to do. But I'm happy for him if he came to peace with that. And I hope they do well up there in Oregon.
And then you looked at that when they put those top 8 seeds on the screen, it basically looked like your schedule, except for Arizona. I mean, when you think about the strength of schedule you guys played, I mean, how well that prepared you for this tournament now.
Yeah, I mean, it should have. I mean, like I made a comment yesterday after the game, it seemed like every time we look up, we're playing a top 25 team to the point where we didn't even know anymore. It didn't matter. We were just playing a good team. And I mean, I think our schedule off the charts, number one in the country as far as the strength, and it just kept getting better and better and better, but we had nowhere to go. So I don't know if we'll ever play a tougher one. It has to do with your non-conference schedule and different things. And it's just the way it worked out. We were just fortunate we got off to a good start against some really good teams, and we kept it up.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I don't feel like Dave's or Tom's Casey Opitz Ninja headband there.
I like that. That means he's pumping iron. I can see him running on the street. He'll be working hard.
Thanks. I just had to ask that.
Matt Jones, anything else?
Yeah, I saw where you're going to play the early game on Friday. You've done that the last couple of times. As a host team, you get to request what time you play. What goes into that thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my first choice. I haven't talked with our administration about it yet. They haven't asked me. But what goes into that is just the fact it's weather, maybe more than anything. If you get that first game in and then some weather rolls in, you'd hate to play the night game and 2 teams in front of you play, and then you're sitting there, and next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. You're not playing, and you got to get up and play that game and then play another one later that day, whether you win or lose. So it might be a little bit more difficult on fans getting to the game, but I think our fan base understands it now. I mean, I talked to many coaches about it over the years, especially Wayne Graham at Rice, and he's the one who gave me all the details why they did it, and I 100% agree with them. And those are most of the points there.
And then if you go back to the 15 super regional, you guys haven't had to leave Fayetteville for a regional or a super regional. How different has it felt over the last several years, knowing that you're going to be at home before you go to Omaha if you get that far?
Well, it's a good feeling going in. Obviously, we got to take care of business to get to the next round. But, I mean, with our fan base and this beautiful ballpark, I mean, it's where we want to be. You can rest up a little bit instead of, we just got back. We'd have to pack and get ready to get out of town again. It takes a little bit out of you. If you're a team that went to a tournament and got eliminated early and you've been sitting home for 3 days, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But, here it is Monday and we're still tired. So we need to get some downtime, and not having to travel that day is big.
Jason?
Hey, Coach, you've had newcomers come in and be successful. I don't know if you've ever had this many in a year, whether it's newcomers or transfers. What have those guys meant, adding to that core group you had coming back to get you to this point?
Yeah, when you talk about the position players, Cullen Smith, and he's been here, he was here a year with us, almost a year. So he got to work out and be all through fall ball a couple falls ago. COVID hit, we all went home, and then he came back this year and he was eligible to play. And we knew in the fall that he was going to play for us. He was big, and you think about Lyle Lockhart on the pitching side, or Ryan Costu. Those two guys have been a big part of the pitching staff, and to have transfers come in and help out like that, you can throw Charlie Welch in there. I mean, guy can swing the bat. He just kept working, and I don't know. We've had some good ones. I guess you're talking about our shortstop too. I can't forget about him, junior, because we didn't go to the junior college ranks. Just really a couple of guys, and then a couple of transfers. So he's been huge. I mean, he might be the best shortstop I've ever had. Time will tell. So, excuse me. But yeah, those guys have been huge for us.
I know Lyle put out a tweet talking about his best decision of his life. I mean, have you seen that from those guys that made that decision to join this team now after they've gone through this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know they love it here, and we work hard here, but we treat our players right, and we treat them like men. If they don't do something right, we're going to talk to about it. We're not going to try to embarrass them. And it's different culture here than in a lot of places. And that I get these guys to tell me, and I'm not going to cut down any university, but they run their programs maybe a little differently. And these guys like it here. They like to be pushed and work, and but on the other end, they like the fact that the coaches treat them like big boys, and we treat them with respect. And if we have a problem, we tackle it head on. We don't just go popping off in the locker room in front of everybody. And I think every one of those guys would tell you that this was a great decision, them coming.
Randy?
Dave, has Heston Toll taken on the role as the number one guy out of the bullpen based upon his performance this past week?
Well, I don't know if we really have a number one guy. I think that he brings something a little different, because he doesn't throw as hard as some of the other guys, but he can locate his fastball. It's about 90 miles an hour. He keeps it down. Got a little bit different arm slot. It's more short arm, and he's got a good slide. So I don't know if he's a guy that you're going to keep in there for 3 or 4 innings, but he's a guy that can get you maybe 6 outs pretty good. What he's done is he's gained everybody's confidence, including the coaching staff, where we feel like that he can handle it. Before I gave him the ball the other day, I had it in my hand. He put his glove out, and I asked him if he was nervous or he could handle this. And I'm not going to give you the ball until you convince me. And just kind of getting with him. I want to make sure, look him in the eye, see what he looked like. He came in there with, I think, runners second and third or bases loaded. He got us in the dugout. And, he helped us win that ball game. But he's kind of a cool customer. He does a good job out there for a young guy.
I think one thing that really hadn't been talked a lot about, and this is kind of what Tom was asking a few moments ago about shuffling all the different players to different positions. Talk about the defense, though, that Cullen Smith has brought to first base. There's been some plays I really didn't think that he might make, but he did make them.
Well, he's a good defender. You look at Cullen, he was all-conference second baseman at East Tennessee State for 2 years. He played third base as a freshman. He worked at it first base all fall because that's what we thought we were going to play him. Obviously, we worked him out at third, and it's worked out. He's good over there. And I think Brady Slavens has done an outstanding job at first this year. I mean, he's picked a lot of balls. He's a great target. We've had really good infield play this year. Outfield's been really solid as well. And we won the league because we played good defense and we pitched enough. We got some big hits and we scored some runs, hit some home runs, but there were some games too that were tight, and they were tight because we played great defense.
Final question goes to Troy.
I'm all good. Thanks, though.
Oh, you got your hand up. It's all right. Thank you for coming out. Have a good one now.
Okay. See you guys.